questions for the student athletes. We'll circle back with questions for Coach. Floor is yours when you're ready.
I think they say it, that baseball can be a game of inches, and I think in that first inning it proved to be. If we'd have had 6 more inches, maybe that game would have started out a little differently. I think we had a ball up the middle that nicked the pitcher on the way into center field, and then Stowers there in about the 8th inning, another ball just inches foul. So it was close in many ways, but I thought Ethan Small did a great job after being a little unsettled early on in the first inning, and then all of a sudden he kind of found a groove and kind of kept us at bay from the first inning on. So I thought it was a strong effort by him. I thought Mississippi State did a great job with some 2-strike hitting and some clutch hitting, and that kind of was the difference in the game, where our balls weren't falling, their balls were falling, and with runners on base. So I thought they played a great game. I thought our kids hung in there pretty well. I think we had a couple opportunities that caused them a little pause there in the end, and I think that's something we're able to do. So hopefully, getting comfortable in the atmosphere. It was a great atmosphere tonight. The fans are outstanding here in Starkville, and it was everything that we anticipated as far as just great atmosphere for a super regional. I thought our guys did a good job of coming out and playing comfortably, and hopefully we can play even better tomorrow.
We'll go ahead and start with questions for the student athletes. Steve's right there in the middle.
Andrew, Coach referenced the ball you hit in the first inning. Kind of take us through that sequence from a pitching standpoint, as well as what kind of your reaction when you saw Mangum pull it in.
Yeah, he was attacking pretty much that entire inning with fastballs, and that's what we had on the report, about 80% fastballs. And so I was just looking for something I could drive, and maybe got a little bit off the handle, a little jam, and so couldn't quite carry out. But, that's a heck of a play by him.
Go to Teddy here, front row to the player's right.
Maverick, you were one of the few players that really was able to get stuff off Small. What were you seeing from him, and what made him so tough tonight?
I think just being able to not swing the pitch up was pretty effective for me, and getting pitches that were lower in the zone and just working the middle. And obviously, the name of the game is putting the barrel on the ball and just put some good swings on some balls and shot them up the middle.
Any questions for the student athletes? We'll get the microphones to you. We'll go ahead and get back to Steve, and then we'll go over here to Rick.
Maverick, obviously a big play to get Foscue there. What did you see on that play that made you feel comfortable to throw backside and get the out there?
I think it was just, I would like to say like trade secret, but obviously it was a big moment in the game, and they had an opportunity to put a couple runs on us, and Dash and I decided in that moment like we're just going to back pick it, been there pretty much the whole game, and obviously it gave us an opportunity there to go down 4 where it could have been down 5, 6, 7, so just having an opportunity and taking it.
Yeah, Andrew, did you think your ball was out?
I couldn't tell. I know he roamed center field pretty well, and so I honestly put my head down and looked back up, and by the time I saw him throwing it back in, so definitely disappointment, but it's part of the game. He's a great player, and so I wasn't shocked by any means.
Any other questions for the student athletes before we let them go? Go ahead to questions for Coach. All right, thank you, fellas. We'll see you tomorrow. Go ahead and lead off with questions for Coach to Brett here in the front row.
You mentioned State's 2-strike approach and their hits in that regard. That's something they pride on. They like to think that's their calling card as a team. What do you see in their 2-strike approach, and what makes them tough there?
Well, I think they've got some flat barrels to the zone. I think they're able to work a little bit later. When they get to 2 strikes, and if the ball is out over the plate, they do a great job of staying inside and keeping a flat swing to it. They beat us a few times, even with a couple pitches in. They were able to jam and jam the ball into the outfield, and those are great hitters' hits. And I thought that they did an outstanding job of just battling the 2 strikes. And you got to make good pitches, and you got to have a little stuff behind it too. You can't just throw it in there and hope for the best. I think they did a great job of taking advantage of some pitches and maybe not even bad pitches. I think they just did a great job of winning the pitch and some opportune moments that created some runs for them.
Go middle, second row to Steve.
Coach Christian Robinson, kind of hiding down there in the 9 hole, has been a really tough out the last couple weekends for you. What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, you know, as the games have gotten bigger, he's gotten better, and you like to see that, right? And some people kind of come of age at different times, and hopefully this is kind of that springboard into better things. And sometimes when the game elevates, some guys will rise to the top, and he's done that for the last 2 weekends.
Okay, questions for Coach? We'll get the microphones to you guys. Okay, we'll go back to Steve.
Coach, pitching plans for tomorrow, is there anybody that's unavailable?
I don't think so. When you get down to the end there, you know, our hope is that Eric Miller give us a good start, and at some point in time we get the ball to Jack Little. That's kind of been our recipe. So, but I think it's all hands on deck. I don't think there's anyone we wouldn't use. Obviously, Brendan Beck, not tomorrow, but I think, you know, even if Will Matheson, if it got right down to it, if it was the right spot to just extend the season for another day, I think he's up as well.
Go ahead, back to Rick here in the front row.
David, I saw you confident in state players between innings when the kid went down in the dugout. Could you tell what was going on?
Yeah, you know, he was able to come out and said it was a teammate of his who was down in the dugout. And, you know, at that point, it's not Mississippi State versus Stanford. It's everybody, you know, pulling together, saying prayers for the health of another ball player. And so he seemed to be really concerned about it. So I just want to make sure that he knew that, you know, we were saying prayers too and hoping for the best.
Any other questions for Coach before we let him go?